along the trail here, we got one organ pipe that is right by us. And here we come. Walking along the path. We switch from the desert. Yeah, I know, dude, you see me. That is a beautiful western diamondback. There is a coral snake. Oh my god. Good morning, everyone. It is our third official day down in Arizona, and we are starting off the day in Organ Pipe National Monument. I'm about to take a little look through the visitors center here, hopefully grab a parks pass for the rest of the year as well, and then we'll go see what we can find.
Naturally, botanist that I am, the first thing that I am noticing and I'm going to get distracted by are all the various plants there. Organ Pipe National Monument is an incredibly diverse region full of a bunch of incredibly beautiful wildflowers. Some of them are species that are found nowhere else or in very small areas elsewhere within the US, such as the golden hedgehog cactus. Now, of course, the plants are not the only things that I found. It didn't take long before we did start seeing animals.
Whip. Got a coach whip out here. Oh my god, there's a coach whip. Look at that. He's huge too. You are gorgeous. Look at you. Oh my. Alright, dude, don't go.
He got down a hole underneath that big rock to the right there, and that was that.
Damn it! Yeah, so I ended up missing that coach whip, and then I think another one as I drove back down the road over towards here. But we're taking a little trail now through these towering ocotillos and saguaros. It's quite beautiful out. We got some cloud cover, which makes it really nice to be out here, actually. And hopefully I can find a coach whip or any other snake that I can actually catch for some photo rather than just lose in the bush. Right along the trail here, we got one organ pipe that is right by us. And it is quite the sight. Oh, I'm gonna lean way up to actually see the whole thing. It's got some fat stems from all the moisture this year too, so I imagine come June the flowering will be incredible. I'll have to double check what species of cholla this is, but it is in full bloom. There was a yellow one that I saw further back. This one's got these lovely kind of orange-red flowers. It's the first place I've seen these guys actually in flower and not just preparing buds too, which is cool.
Now, at first it looked like this hike was going to be like most of my desert hikes during the daytime seem to turn out, which is not a whole lot to see. Now, down in Organ Pipe, when you're in the middle of all of this amazing botanical wonder, that's not too bad a thing. These Organ Pipe cacti are incredible to stand near. There were wildflowers everywhere, but the trail did have a few surprises around the bend.
We got ourselves a little horned lizard here. Not entirely sure what species, but I'll have to check in a bit. Alright, so this is incredibly exciting. This is a brand new species of horned lizard down here. I'll have to double check exactly which one it is, and I'll post it up for you guys. I'm pretty sure it's the desert or goods horned lizard, one of the two. Actually, I think the goods is further west. We might see him later on in the trip, but he's got this lovely crown of spikes around his head that we definitely don't get with the short horns back home. He was just hanging out next to the trail here. So we'll get a couple of photos and let him go. Alright, dude. He's trying to dig his horns into my hand. I didn't even let him go. There he goes. Might be able to get him to just sit here for a couple minutes with a photo or two, though.
And luckily, he did decide to just kind of sit and stick around for a little bit, so I got some nice in situ shots of him. The Regal horned lizard is, in fact, our largest horned lizard in the U.S. They get quite a bit larger than most other species. The Texas might come close, though, another species that I still have to see later on. These guys are pretty much obligate and specialized anteaters. They really don't eat anything else, so that means there's one reason you don't see them in captivity often, because it's not very easy to keep an ant collection around to help feed these guys. But it doesn't mean they aren't great to go see out in the wild. Running around, they like sandy, flat areas. A little strange where he was living, because this was a bit more of a sandy wash spot, but I was in the middle of a rocky hillside otherwise. They will find places, small microhabitats, where they like to live in those kinds of areas. And another fun fact, you might know about horned lizards already. If they are particularly stressed by what they perceive as an attacking predator, they will actually build up pressure and burst blood vessels in and around their eyes and shoot that at predators. That blood tends to be really bitter tasting and nasty, so that's a really good deterrent for keeping them from getting eaten. Continuing on the hike again, so many different kinds of flowers. Hibiscus in the desert, different varieties of the staghorn cactus were in bloom. Some of the best ocotillo flowers that I have ever seen were up on this hillside amongst the organ pipes. Interesting little deep purple blue legumes of some sort. Just beautiful flowers all over the place. And coming up around on the next bend, another interesting lizard.
Alright, there's no way I'm going to be able to catch him, but there's a collared lizard right there. One of the voracious predators of this ecosystem in terms of lizards. Only beat out by the leopard lizards, really. They'll eat anything smaller than them. He's going to dive into the crack as soon as I get any closer, so we'll get some video here and a couple of photos.
Primarily a denizen of Sonora, Mexico, these particular colored lizards only come up a short ways into Arizona, particularly around the Organ Pipe area and a little bit further north, so it was quite a treat to see this one.
The video quality is probably going to be terrible because of the bumpy road, but right here I am within spitting distance of the US-Mexico border. You can see the border wall that they put up there that doesn't actually stop anything other than the flow of wildlife across the border. But anyway, we are heading now to a very special spot down that's almost right against the border. It's home to some very, very unique species that inhabit a habitat that is found in only very, very small, isolated locations. And that is Quito Baquito Springs. And here we are right next to that big fence that they put up out here. Not allowed to actually travel on the border road itself, even though it's only 100 feet that way. But it's about as close as I'm going to be to Mexico without my passport with me. So just on the other side, one of the major highways actually crosses right along the border in Mexico. It goes from Sonoita westward towards Yuma. On this side, though, all wilderness. And just over here we can see this massive green. That's the signal that there's a lot of water over here. So here we come. Walking along the path. We switched from desert to an incredible clear spring. Would you look at this? There's a turtle in the water. What we see here are Arizona mud turtles. These can actually be found all across the desert out here. Surprise, surprise, even out in the middle of where there seems to be no water. Let's see, where's the other one at who stayed? Oh, he disappeared, I think. Wait, no, he didn't. There you are. They're a relatively small turtle, but adorable. And this is a hot spot for them because there's permanent water here all the time.
To be perfectly honest, I only realized how rare what I was filming actually was once I got back home. This subspecies of the Sonoran mud turtle is only found, at least in the US, right here in Quito Springs. Nowhere else. These Arizona mud turtle lives in the broader region around here, still very rare because it only lives generally down in this particular part of the Sonoran Desert, but it tends to avoid these permanent waterways that are found here and there like this, whereas the Sonoran, specifically the Sonoida one here, is found within
just in the water down here.
springs.
You can see another of the very special inhabitants of this pond. Don't know how well he actually shows up on the screen, but there are desert pupfish in the pool. These tiny little fish can survive water up to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're only found in a handful of little springs and pools out here that have permanent water.
Now, unfortunately, I don't think it actually got very good quality, but I happen to have a waterproof camera with me, and I tried catching an underwater photo of these fish. You can see them briefly flash by, but unfortunately, that's all I was able to get. And let me stress, the inert camera is the only thing that went in the water. Nothing else can or should go in there.
So out there, you can see the main spring. Then in here is where it's being spring fed from further up. There's a short trail that follows this, so I just might go and see what might be up there. Now, before I did actually follow the trail, I happened to spot this guy off to the side in the bushes, and a couple others later on. I wasn't entirely sure what they were down there, but apparently this is Schott's tree lizard, a different subspecies of ornate tree lizard that I haven't seen before, and the bright blue tail that these guys develop is something that truly kind of surprised me. I've never seen that color on this species before. This right here might actually be the origin. Spring. You can see all the little pupfish are up here too. They're actually a different color than the ones that were out in the main lake. Fascinating. The headwaters keep going up, actually, quite a ways further than I thought. Kind of just this magical little trail you can follow through a very different kind of habitat out here. Birds everywhere. flowing water. Some beautiful flowers that I need to come take a photo of, because oh my goodness, are they gorgeous. Look at those. I'm amazed though, I haven't seen anything but lizards running around. There's a pair of mud turtles mating here. Got the little male riding on the female. Oops. And they're scramming. Right here it looks like, I mean there may be a small puddle or something up above, but this is where the water comes right out of the side of the mountain. Starts making the pools down below. As we head up, this turns into saguaros and sagebrush. There's a couple of greener spots up there, but not a lot. Another one of these guys. Double check what they are, that this might be a long-tailed brush lizard, because it's definitely not the ornate tree lizards I'm used to. At least I don't think so. Well, middle of the day, and our first snake that is not going to get away from me has shown up. Yeah, I know, dude, you see me. That is a beautiful Western Diamondback. He's like, what is this thing? Coming to see. Yeah, I'm not really something that you want, dude. Oh, he's trying to get off the road past me.
Now, I definitely think I need to take this moment to reiterate, no, the rattlesnake is not chasing me. In fact, this is where that myth usually comes from. I happen to be standing in the exact line between him and where he knew this little hole under a particular bush was that he wanted to get to. So that's where he headed, because that's where he felt safest, and I just happened to be in the way. Had I stayed put right where I was, he probably would have crawled right over my shoe. But I instead decided to use the hook to redirect him. Now, unfortunately, that rattlesnake was the only snake that I saw down in that particular part of this valley. I decided to head up to try and take a hike in one of the canyons along the Ajo Mountains. Didn't find any snakes there, but once again, beautiful scenery, amazing wildflowers, and a couple of lizards.
There is a coral snake. Oh my god. Holy. It's huge. It is huge. Oh my god. Look at this thing. Okay, I've got to get photos while he's sitting still. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my god, the trip has been made. This is Microroides eurexanthus, the northern Sonoran coral snake. And this is just about the biggest one I think we could ever have. That is a nearly 18-inch long pair of tweezers.
Alright, I gotta pause here. In my excitement, as one often does, I did overestimate the size of the snake a little bit. However, those are a 15-inch pair of tweezers, and if the snake had been stretched out straight, it would have had at least another 9 to 10 inches on top of that, making this a 2+ foot Sonoran coral, which is pretty huge as far as Sonoran corals go.
These guys don't really get over 2 feet ever. So that thing is huge. Oh my God. It is beautiful. These are primarily snake eaters. They will eat other snakes. So they like to hunt the thread snakes, the leaf noses, the long noses, everything else that lives out here that's smaller than them. Also, I can't believe he's actually sitting still for me. Oh, he's decided otherwise, so I'm going to have to get some other photos and then try and get him safely off the road.
And very shortly after this, I'll probably have the video on TikTok somewhere. I actually was trying to record and a car came driving by, and I had to use my phone to kind of scoot him off because I was kind of panicking in the moment and used the closest thing that I had. But a good example that these guys are really, really docile snakes. They are beautiful, they are incredibly toxic, venomous, but it's really hard to get them to bite because they have no reason to use that venom on a person because they use it for their food. So they will do everything in their power they can to do anything else to get you to leave them alone before they will bite. Heck, they will fart in defense before they will bite most of the time. These guys, they are very secretive fossorial animals, so it's not common to see them out on the surface, especially not when it's not been raining. So this is a very special find. Oh, and because I know it will come up somewhere, that old red touch yellow rhyme, please forget it. These guys are a good example why there's not actually any yellow on these guys. At best they get cream bands, but even if you try to apply the yellow to the white or cream colors here, there are many, many species of snakes, even within the same range as this snake, that have the same pattern order of the white touches either side of the black bands and the red that are completely harmless. So you cannot use that as a means of identifying venomous versus non-venomous.
Need to make sure that he goes in the correct direction. So don't ever try this. You don't know what you're doing. Come here, dude. I know. We just want to make sure we get you off the road, okay? Because you want to go over here. There you go. Yeah, you go that way. Good boy. Oh my God. We got another snake out here. It's a familiar face from last night too. A gorgeous, ooh, absolutely gorgeous little sidewinder. So we'll get the light out and we'll try and get some good photos here. So admittedly this kind of pales in comparison to what we just found, but nevertheless, that is quite a beautiful little Sonoran Desert Sidewinder. He's got some great pattern. And hopefully the car that's coming up won't disturb him. He's been in pretty good shape too, nice and chunky. Sitting out here, he's got this nice sandy coloration. So we're going to get a couple of photos and then move him off the road. Alright now, sir. The road here is no place for a beautiful snake like you, so we're going to need you to move along, okay? Come on. Yeah, I know, I'm touching you. Oh no. It's just a hook. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know where safety is. Go into the bushes. No. Come on. Let's get you over there, okay? Because we don't want you coming on the road. You'll get run over if you come over here, okay? So go this way. Yeah, that's a lot better. That way. There you go. That's where you should go. Yep. Keep going. Away from the road. There you go. Yep. Over there. There you go. Oops. I've got a little thing out here, and it might just be one of the things I really... Oh my God, yes. That... Oh yes. All right, people. This is another one of the species that I really wanted to see. This is Phylorhynchus browni, the saddled leaf-nosed snake. They are named... Oh, get out of here, bug. They are named for the really large rostral scale right on their snout that looks like a folded up leaf. And these guys are very rare nocturnal animals that are only usually found after big rainstorms. So this is a really lucky find, and especially considering I saw the spotteds get hit last time, and this is the absolute western edge of these guys' range. This is really lucky. Now this is just a young one. They do get a little bit bigger than this. He's only like 6 inches long here, and they get a foot and a half or so, maybe more. And the bands there get a lot darker. Absolutely beautiful snake though. And this is one I don't have to worry about at all, because they are non-venomous. I can handle him. So I'll get a couple of photos. And we'll get him off the road. So here he is. Compared to my hand, he is so tiny. We're going to get him up and off the road now. It's quite a wide gravel wash that's over here actually, so we're going to move him quite a ways so that he doesn't get run over by anyone else, because I don't want what's happened to the little ones I saw yesterday happening to him. So you go on. He's been very hissy. There he goes. And the night just keeps getting better, because here is a little desert banded gecko, Coleonyx variegatus. Trying to alter the light here so you guys can actually see him well. It's hard to get the exact coloration right. Let's see if that does it. Let's see here. Can we see you? It's still a little on the bright side, but you can see those lovely little bands that he's got. I'll get some photos of him in a little bit. There we go. Almost. So these guys are pretty common in the desert out here, but they're usually up in rocky areas. So out on the flats where I'm at the moment is a little bit less common. But this is kind of like your, I guess, American version of the leopard gecko. These guys are also in the eublepharid family, so they have eyelids, unlike most geckos. They still have the same tendency of they will drop their tails to defend themselves. But we'll get a couple of photos and then let him be on his way. This guy was heading off in this direction, so I'll take him across the road here. We can get the light up a little more, and we'll let him on his way. Ready, dude? Run! No, run. Run. Into the bush. Alright, folks. We has out here a second little gecko. Look at him. And he's got a bug. So let's try and get a good video. So we got out here a second little gecko who was eating a bug a little bit ago, but he's not eating a bug anymore. He's got some really nice color and pattern too, so we'll get a couple of good photos hopefully, and then get him moved across the road in the direction he's going. He's a fat one too. And now we have out here a very large scorpion running around. And I mean a big one too. Hopefully he doesn't get squished by the cars that are coming along out here. He's just wandering looking for the bugs that are on the road. He's cool. Alright, shall we say Gecko number 3. Another beautiful little example. He is gorgeous. We're just going to get a couple photos since we've seen a couple of these already and get him off the road. Well, I certainly don't think I could have asked for a better night than tonight. That gigantic coral snake, the leaf nose snake, and then earlier in the day exploring the Organ Pipe National Monument itself and finding the horn lizard and visiting Quito Paquito Springs. So, and this week too, the trip is only about half over. Now we are leaving the Sonoran Desert environment at this point, and I'm heading further west, so we'll be entering a very, very different kind of habitat, so who knows what it'll be like trying to find animals there. The temperatures are also going to change a little bit. It's going to be a little bit cooler, so hopefully stuff will be out a little bit more during the day, because night cruising will not last very long each night. We'll see though, but until then, if you'd like to see more videos like this coming up, if you'd like to help support educational materials, consider joining as a patron at patreon.com/hcarlton. These trips do cost quite a bit, so every little bit counts, and if you become a member there, there's also exclusive benefits that you can get, including merchandise, access to contests, and early access to the videos as well. If you can't do a monthly subscription, consider doing perhaps a one-time donation at coffee.com/carltoncarnivores. The link for that will be in the description below. If you'd like to see more information and such, visit the shop that has all the plants and such for sale. You can find that at carltoncarnivores.com. You can also access the database and the blog there. All the links for the different websites and social media that I am on will also be on that site. If you'd like to see more videos and clips and little tidbits here and there, you can find me on social media at Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook at Carlton Carnivores. But until next time, I'm Hawken Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.